Welcome. So today we're going to dive into something really special. It's a letter of career advice from a veteran chef named Classica, and let me tell you, it is an incredible playbook for anyone starting out. It's just packed with hard-won wisdom on everything from how to land your first job to, navigating the future of work itself. And right out of the gate, we get this idea that just flips the whole script. It's not about luck, it's not about waiting to be picked, it's about playing the numbers. This single sentence completely reframes the entire challenge of building a career. So, what does an experiment in probability actually look like in the real world? Well, it looks like this. We're talking 1978, New York City. Classica went out and hand-delivered 500 resumes to restaurants in 1 month. This wasn't just, looking for a job. It was a massive, systematic operation.
Okay, so how did this one powerful idea become a full-blown career strategy? Here's the 5-part playbook we're going to break down. We'll start with that experiment, then we'll talk about reframing the job search, the 2 paths to mastery, what an AI-assisted kitchen looks like, and we'll wrap up with what might be the most crucial piece of all, your human support system.
So this first part is all about that foundational mindset. Think about it. In a city like New York, there are so many restaurants. The law of averages basically guarantees that jobs are always opening up. The trick isn't finding a needle in a haystack, it's about systematically checking the entire haystack. And this is where the math becomes so clear. The tactic? Pure brute force, 500 resumes. And get this, the experience level? 0. Absolutely none. And the outcome? A job as a roast cook at the Plaza Hotel, one of the best in the city. It was a huge bet on statistics, and wow, did it pay off? And that brings us to the core psychological shift here. See, if the search is an experiment, then failure isn't personal. It's just data. This section is all about turning the job hunt from this stressful, desperate thing into a deliberate, professional skill that you can actually get better at. So it all boils down to this simple 3-step mental framework. First, you treat the search itself like it's your full-time job. Second, you see every single interview not as a high-stakes test, but as rehearsal for the next one. And finally, by planning on a low success rate, you totally remove the sting of rejection, and you stay motivated. And this is it's a brilliant insight. You're going up against people who do interviews for a living. They're the experts. So how do you compete? You can't just walk in cold. You build your own expertise through sheer repetition. Every no becomes a training session for that final yes. Now, aiming for a 5% success rate, that sounds kind of low, doesn't it? But it's actually a winning strategy. When you plan for 95 out of 100 attempts to not work out, you stop putting all your hopes and dreams on one application. It frees you up to just focus on the process, and that focus is what gets you a win in the end. Okay, so you've got the mindset down, you've gotten your foot in the door. Now what? How do you actually build a career and become a master of your craft? Well, Classica lays out 2 very different paths you can take. And this just lays out the trade-offs so perfectly. The formal education route, that's an investment of money. It can seriously boost your lifetime income and open up doors to corporate R&D jobs. The apprenticeship route, on the other hand, is an investment of time. You're often working for free, but you gain immediate prestige and see exactly how the best kitchens in the world really run. Now, we're going to pivot from classic strategy to the future. Classical's advice isn't just stuck in the past, it is keenly aware of the massive technological shifts that are already happening and what's coming next. I'm talking, of course, about artificial intelligence. To really get a handle on the speed of this change, Classica points to an idea called Kurzweil's scale. Put simply, it just means that technological progress isn't a steady, straight line. It's accelerating. The curve is getting steeper and steeper, almost heading toward a vertical line where change happens almost instantly. And here's what that acceleration looks like in the real world. The personal computer, it took more than a decade to really catch on. AI is being adopted more than 3 times faster. In fact, some people think we're already at about 85 degrees on that scale, which is basically vertical. The future is coming way faster than we think. So what's the big takeaway for a human chef? Well, if robots are going to handle a lot of the day-to-day stuff, the value that only humans can bring totally shifts. It moves toward creativity, artistry, and those high-end dining experiences that a machine just can't replicate. But here's the cool part. Instead of seeing AI as a threat, Classica frames it as the ultimate assistant. Imagine a partner that can whisper precise measurements in your ear,
instantly create recipes from whatever you have on hand, and help you solve any problem, augmenting your skills without replacing your humanity.
So after all the strategy, the mindset, and the technology, Classica's playbook ends on what might just be the most important piece of the puzzle, the foundation of your own well-being. And this is just such important advice, especially coming from a veteran of a notoriously high-pressure industry. Therapy isn't a sign of weakness. It's a strategic tool for managing all the tough interactions and personal challenges that come with any demanding career. And this is what Classica calls the dream setup for anyone starting out. It's a complete support system, right? You've got a tutor for your technical skills, a therapist for your mental and emotional strength, and the basic independence you need to really focus on your growth. And this leaves us with a final, really crucial question. As technology accelerates and as more of our technical tasks get automated, maybe the ultimate competitive advantage isn't just about what you know or what you can do, but about how well you take care of yourself and the human network that has your back.